All right, last one, Shane. Really good question from Cody from Indianapolis. Let's kick it over to his question.
What's up, cousins? This is Cody Thompson calling in from Indianapolis, Indiana. I moved up here for work, originally from Little Rock, Arkansas. So, woo pig. Been listening to you guys for a long time now. I think I originally started whenever old Sam Pittman was hired to coach them Hogs. So, going on, I guess, 3-4 years now. My question for you guys is, with this upcoming expansion of the college football playoffs, which of the going to be 16 SEC teams, maybe disregarding Alabama and Georgia because they're always going to be one of those teams competing for a college football playoff, which of the remaining 6 or 14 teams do you guys think will have a consistent path or will be in the playoffs consistently in the future? I look forward to hearing your guys' answers. Thank you.
All right, Shane. So simply put here, which SEC teams will be in the playoff mix in the 12-team format is what he's talking about. And he said consistently. So he didn't exactly say what he's meaning by that, but the way I took it, Shane, every 2 years you're in the 12-team playoff. Do you think that's fair to say?
Yeah. I think or at least close to it. One of those bubble teams, that's always going to be near that top 12 spot.
Right.
Makes perfect sense to me.
I did this in kind of tiers. I don't know how you wanted to do it, Shane, but I think 2, if you don't put these on the list, your list is irrelevant. And that is, of course, Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah.
I assume you agree. And would you put anyone else in that mix?
No. I think right now, today, you got to have Georgia. You got to have Alabama up there toward the top. They're kind of in a league of their own.
Right. So the next tier down, Shane, they should always be in there. But, crazy things happen. But, again, I'm not assuming crazy things are happening from here on out with Brian Kelly. Only team on this tier is LSU. They should be in that. No excuse not to be, but they've not earned that to be on Alabama and Georgia's tier, at least in my opinion. Would you agree with that?
Well, if we're doing tiers, and I like that you are, I think that's a better way here to put this. There's a couple that to me can kind of hover in this second round. LSU clearly going to be one of those teams. Team that's been in the Natty several times. But, when I'm thinking in the future, Mike, it's going to come down to money. So are we including any of the Texas teams, Oklahoma? Because I would put Texas in there. I'm telling you, brother, go with me. Texas A&M.
They haven't won the Big 12 in about a dozen years, Shane.
Yeah, but Mike, you're able to do things now with this NIL and being in the SEC. Mm-hmm. I'm talking future here. I'm not talking last 20 years, but it's a team that's still going to hover around that 12th spot. You're going to have the Texas teams, Texas A&M. The only other one that I may consider here is Auburn. One of the reasons that they've not been in that boat is because they've always had one of the toughest schedules. But that all changes when we go to 16. You're going to still probably have Georgia and Alabama, but there's still going to be 2 lost teams making it to that 12th spot. Auburn's got a lot of money, a lot of commitment to winning down there. Not that these other programs don't. But if I'm picking a second tier, give me the Texas teams, give me Auburn, and give me LSU.
Okay, well, basically all those teams are my next tier, Shay. The tier I say these programs have the potential to be in this playoff mix on an annual to semi-annual basis. Auburn, you just mentioned them.
Mm-hmm.
Florida, I think you got to throw them. I realize down right now, but they have all the potential. Tennessee, I'm surprised you didn't go there. I think they should be in that discussion. Texas A&M. Let's fire Jimbo. Let's get a qualified coach in there. We'll move you up to tier 2 probably. And then Oklahoma and Texas, even though I was giving you a hard time about it. But, I think those programs right there, there's almost no excuse to not be in that mix on an annual to semi-annual basis. They have everything you want. You talk about the finances, the fans, the history, everything. All those teams should be in that mix on a semi-annual basis, in my opinion. You have an issue with any of those? Auburn, Florida,
well,
Tennessee, A&M, Oklahoma, and Texas.
Yeah, my list is, our list is a little bit different at this point. And when I'm thinking of this third tier, I'm thinking about teams that are going to always find their way into a top 25. And that could be just about any of these guys, Mike. When I'm looking at Tennessee, that's obviously a choice for me. Florida Gators, had some rough years, but they're not going to stay down there forever. A team like Arkansas, Kentucky's bouncing, Oklahoma. Yeah, any of those can at any point. And as long as Lane Kiffin's in Ole Miss, hell, you could even factor them in. So, yeah, top 25 teams at this point, Mike, I think I just think it's honestly about 4 or 5 tiers when I'm looking at it, and this is where the bulk of the SEC teams are going to rank. They're going to pop up. There'll be one of those teams pop up every 4 or 5 years and have an opportunity to get into the college football playoff.
So my final tier here, Shane, and these teams, I think every 3 to 4 years should be in discussion for a playoff spot, and Maybe if you're Cody, maybe that qualifies you to be consistent. But I'm thinking, again, every 3 to 4 years, South Carolina, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Kentucky, and Missouri. So basically the entire damn league short of Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Shane, and even if you're down here and you're saying, well, that ain't right, we're better than that, I may agree with you because I've said it many times, Shane, and I will continue to say it. The SEC with Texas and Oklahoma, I realize some people are scared it's going to be too tough. I'm looking at exact opposite. These programs that are maybe historically towards the bottom of the SEC, they are going to be risen above basically anybody in the country. And we're already seeing it with the transfer portal, with NIL. SEC dominates recruiting and NFL draft. I mean, are you going to go to Iowa State? Or are you going to go to Missouri? You're going to go to Missouri, where it's basically the NFL, mini NFL. Are you going to go to even to Clemson, where they play one game a year? Or are you going to go to South Carolina? I think you're going to go to South Carolina, and that's across the board. So these teams have the potential to bump into that, every other year category.
Yeah.
But for me, I would put them in a 3 to 4. You got to get the right quarterback. You catch fire, maybe you got some seniors, no excuse. The rest of the SEC can't get in the top 12. We're just talking top 12 here, Shane. Every 3 to 4 years, you should be in that top 12, basically the entire rest of the league short of Vanderbilt.
That's it, man. It's the future of college football. The Big Ten, they're shaping up. We're shaping up. There's going to be your ACC teams pop up, your Pac-10 teams pop up. There'll always be 1 or 2 of those guys. But I think annually in this conference, we're going to have at least 3 to 4, maybe even 5. I'm just telling you, when you lose just 2 to 3 of these SEC games, you're going to make a case why they should be in the college football playoffs. So looking at your helmets there, you got 16. So I could take 4 of those guys and put them into the college football playoffs. So everyone has an opportunity. It's not, how many times has Mississippi State been top 12? How many times has Arkansas been a top 12 team or Kentucky a top 12 team? So you're going to make that argument that they should be in the college football playoffs, and they're going to get in. They are going to get in because we see what happens when you don't have SEC teams. You get games like the TCU Georgia, and nobody wants to watch. So they want to sell tickets, Mike. We want entertained. You do that by getting as many SEC teams in there as possible. So we're talking 25% of the league will be going to this conference champion or the tournament every single year. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for these dudes.
Oh, yeah.